Welcome. Today, we're cracking open the Strategic Toolkit. We're going to look at 5 seriously powerful frameworks that are designed to give you a real, actual edge over the competition. And listen, these aren't just abstract theories from a textbook. They are practical, hands-on tools for making much, much smarter decisions.
I mean, it's the million-dollar question, right? It's what every leader is trying to figure out. When it feels like everyone is fighting for the exact same customers, how do you do more than just survive? How do you actually win? It can feel like an impossible puzzle, but the answer isn't about guessing or just getting lucky.
And this quote just completely nails it. Seriously, just imagine for a second, a world with no rivals. You could do whatever you want, set your own pace, success would be practically a given. But you know, that's not the world we live in. The real world is all about competition, and it basically defines the entire game.
And that right there is the key. The best leaders, the ones who really succeed, they don't just react to what's happening or cross their fingers and hope for the best. No way. They analyze, they anticipate, and they act with a clear purpose, using mental models to make sense of all the chaos. And that's exactly what this toolkit is for. So let's open it up and grab our first tool.
First up, we've got a classic from the one and only Michael Porter. You should think of this tool as your strategic radar. It is designed to do one thing and do it incredibly well. Help you predict what your competitors are going to do before they actually do it.
So instead of just looking at what your competitor is doing right now, this model makes you dig deeper. It forces you to ask why they're doing it and what they could do next. It's all about getting inside their head, understanding their motivations, and knowing what they're actually capable of. This is how you stop just reacting and you start getting ahead of the curve.
And the framework is built on these 4 corners, right? It's pretty elegant. 2 of the corners are about motivation. What truly drives them? And what are the hidden beliefs their management team holds? Then, the other 2 corners are about their actions. What's their current strategy? And what can they realistically pull off? Let's see what that looks like in practice.
Now check this out, because it really simplifies that motivation corner. Think about a huge market leader. Their main driver is defense, right? They've got the top spot to protect, so they're usually pretty cautious. But a market challenger, they're the complete opposite. They're all about offense. They're hungry, they're willing to take big swings to grab a piece of that pie. Just knowing that simple difference helps you predict their next move.
Okay, so once you've used Porter's radar to look outward at everybody else, the next move is to look inward. And for that, we're going to turn to John Kay's framework. This one is all about figuring out what makes you, well, you. It's about finding those unique advantages that are almost impossible for anyone else to copy.
And this is so important, especially today in markets where it feels like every great idea gets copied in like 5 minutes. Kay says things like a slightly better product or a more efficient process. Those aren't real advantages because they can be replicated. He really pushes us to dig deeper for advantages that are going to last for the long haul. So Kay says these true lasting advantages really fall into 3 buckets. First, you've got reputation. This is the trust you've built up over years. A competitor can copy your product, sure, but they can't copy your reputation overnight. Second is architecture. This is your unique web of relationships, your company culture, your supply chain. It's one of a kind. And third, innovation. And we're not just talking about one great idea. We're talking about building a system that consistently creates new things.
All right, so we've looked out at our rivals, we've looked in at our own strengths. Our third tool helps us put all the pieces together. The strategist Kenichi Omai's 3C model is just a masterclass in simplicity. It's designed to cut through all the noise and get you focused on what really, truly matters.
And that's the absolute genius of it. Instead of juggling 100 different things, Omai says you really only need to focus on strategically aligning 3 key players: your own company or the corporation, your customers, and your competitors. A winning strategy finds that perfect harmony, that sweet spot right in the middle of those 3.
So it all starts with the customer. I mean, it has to, right? Understanding what they need is everything. Then you look at your competitors. How can you exploit their weaknesses? And finally, you look at your own corporation. How do you leverage your strengths? The real magic happens when what you're great at perfectly aligns with what customers want in a way your competitors just can't touch.
And you know, here's a key insight from this model that should be a huge relief for a lot of us. You don't have to be the best at everything. Omei argues that if you can get a decisive edge in just one key area that really matters to the customer, that's enough. That's enough to win. You can use that success to build out from there. It's all about focus, not trying to be perfect everywhere.
Okay, so you think you've found that decisive edge. You're feeling good about it. But how can you be sure it's a real sustainable advantage? Well, our 4th tool, VRIO analysis, is like a stress test. It helps you figure that out. Think of it as a really honest internal audit of what you're truly made of.
VRIO is actually an acronym. It stands for 4 pretty tough questions we have to ask about any of our resources or our capabilities. It's basically a filter that helps you separate the truly valuable assets from the things that just, look good on paper.
So Rio makes us ask these 4 tough questions about any resource we have. The first one is simple. Is it actually valuable? Does it really help you exploit an opportunity or fend off a threat in the market?
If the answer is yes, then you move to the next question. Is it rare, or does pretty much every one of your competitors have the exact same thing?
And if it's rare, now you get to the toughest test of all, imitation. How hard would it be for someone else to copy it? Because let's be honest, a true advantage is one that can't be easily duplicated. And finally, and this is the step that so many people forget, is your organization even set up to take advantage of it? You can have the greatest resource in the world, but if your company isn't structured to actually use it, then it's totally worthless.
Okay, so we've got tools to analyze the market, our competition, our internal resources, but what happens if the problem isn't the strategy itself, but the organization? Our final tool, Weisbord's 6-box model, is basically a diagnostic checkup on the overall health of your entire company.
This model gives us 6 critical areas to look at. It starts with purposes. Is everyone on the same page about what business you're even in? That clarity should then drive your structure. Next, how are the internal relationships being managed? Do your reward systems actually encourage the right behaviors? Is the leadership keeping all of these boxes in balance? And finally, are the helpful mechanisms, your tech, your processes, are they actually helping you get where you need to go? It's like a complete physical for your organization.
So there you have it, 5 different tools, 5 different lenses, each with its own unique job. We started by looking outward with Porter, then we turned inward with Kay and tested our strengths with Rio. Ome's model helped us simplify our focus, and Weisbord's gave us a way to check if our entire organization is even ready to execute. Altogether, they create a seriously powerful toolkit for cutting through the noise and making clear, effective, strategic choices.
And really, that brings us to the final and most important question. As you think about your own business, your own challenges, your goals, which one of these tools really speaks to you? Which one do you need the most right now? Is it time to analyze a rival, look inward to find your unique spark, or maybe perform a full health check? The right tool is simply the one that gives you the clarity you need to take the next step.